Stevens on the beat.
As the sun rises to make the mornings, down for the evenings, the clouds are gathering and falling as rain. On your throne you were watching, as the day and night take their shift, they take their shift, yeah. Jehovah Nissi, Jehovah.
So my name is Ernest, and I'd like to warmly welcome all of you to Edy.C's private listening. So we are quite sorry for the late start. We had a little technical difficulties, but it has been solved by the grace of God. Radio, how you doing?
Well,
Great. So we'd like to move straight into business since we are far behind schedule. My first question to you is, what got you into music? What first got you into music?
okay, thank you very much. First of all, I want to say sorry. I apologize for the late start of this program, and I'm really, really happy to see those who are here. I'm extremely happy. I'm so excited that you honored our invitation, and God bless you so much.
I think you should clap for yourself. Clap for
Let's
yourself.
get up
Clap
for
for
Jesus.
yourself.
I'm so, we invited a lot of people. Personally, invited a lot of people. That's why we have all these seats here. But I don't know if they are coming or they ain't going to come. I don't know what it is, but we still have to go on. And I appreciate your time. I appreciate the time and the sacrifice. A lot of you are tired. You have to go home and all that. God bless you so much for coming. Yeah, so what got me into music? I don't know. That's one thing. One question that I've never answered very well. I grew up doing music. It's like I don't want to go like everybody says. I started singing at 6.
When you say you grew up doing music, does it mean there was someone in the family that was doing music? Your father, your mom, an auntie?
I never saw them. I heard they were doing music, but I never saw them doing music. So as it stands now in my family, I'm the only rapper.
I see.
I grew up doing music. Sunday school, choir, thanks to teacher Solo, Pastor Jacob Ankrah, and a lot of models that, they tutored us into music. But yeah, I grew up just doing music.
Interesting. So my next question, is music your full-time career? If yes, how do you balance it with your normal social life, family? If no, how do you still balance it?
At this stage, music can never be a full-time career. Right now in Ghana, no. It is not my full-time career. I have other stuff to do. And it is those things that actually fuel, the music. So I am looking forward to getting into it full-time when we get to where we wish to see the thing get to. So it is not full-time. So it's not full-time. Family, we have time for family. I'm single, so family.
Ladies, he says he's single, so
family kind of thing. It is not that something that's going to be a distraction to other things, but it's not full-time for now.
So what would you be doing right now if music wasn't your career?
Music. Well, my first love actually is acting, filmmaking.
Interesting.
I started.
You don't seem like a filmmaking type.
I started all this showbiz thing with acting, writing scripts, and all that. Then music hits me along the line. You get it. So, yeah. If I am not singing, I'll be acting, and that is it.
Okay. So before I ask my next question, there's a microphone around. So if any of the audience, you have a question for Edy.C, some wild questions you want to ask him? Since today is our day, so if you have any questions you want to ask him, then you do that. Okay, next question. So, what would you do if, or what do you do to ginger your audience when you see that you are performing and then they look bored, they look tired? What do you do?
If I tell you what I do, like if there's a specific thing or there's a magic that I do, I can't figure that one out. But one thing I know is that when you're performing, you give your heart to the people,
Okay.
and they will give you their heart. That's one thing I believe in. So if I step on stage and I believe I'm having fun, you know, I'm doing it wholeheartedly, even if it's flopping, even if it's going sideways, because I'm into it and giving you my heart, you definitely join. That is it.
So, at what stage has there been your worst performance, and how did you deal with it? And then your best performance also, and how did you deal with it?
The moment you made mention of worst performance, my mind went back to once, but it wasn't a worst performance. You know, I put a lot of energy into my performances.
Okay.
And so sometimes you expect the audience to react to you when you are performing. So there was, I think twice, I was performing somewhere and...
It's like you say, "We'll sit down," then they don't reply.
I was performing and I was giving everything out and they were all looking at me. Everyone was looking at me like that. And
I'll sit there. And
then I thought it was the worst performance.
Okay.
But then when the performance I ended, the applause told me that no, they were actually paying attention. You know, when people are reluctant to clap, you know, when people are
trying to get
not
the
enjoying
words.
you, you know.
Yeah.
So what I was doing was new to them
Okay.
because gospel and hip hop doing that, so they were lost. So when they imbibed a lot and I was done, that was when you could see the whole. And when it happened that way, you felt like going back to perform again.
I see.
But
I see.
man, anyhow it goes, to the glory
Okay,
of
so
God.
you mentioned gospel and hip hop. You see, in our part of the world here, or our part of the country here, people are now getting used to the urban gospel music. So, what can you do to change that? Because my dad, for instance, when he sees me listening to rap songs, then his mind goes to, "Hey, Charlie, my boy is going astray, this. But when he takes his time to listen to the lyrics of the song and he sees that, oh, it's gospel, then he tends to calm down and, yeah.
What I have to do to change is keep doing what I'm doing. That is it. When everyone knows that our traditional Pentecostals didn't start with this hip hop thing. You know, it was painted diabolic and all that.
Yeah.
When I started, there was a point. I remember my first concert I organized in our church, not here. Someone came to me right in the face to tell me that what I'm doing is diabolic. You know, performing
Really?
and be like, what you're doing is diabolic. You're a devil.
As you were performing.
Yeah, I was performing. Then backstage too, he came to me and was like, "Stop what you're doing. It is devilish.
Wow.
What you're doing is there."
That's interesting.
Yeah, so I've gone through such, and there has been points where even some leaders of churches do not understand you, and you appear and they want to send you away. But for me to keep this thing going, for me to change it, that is why I'm still here. And thank God so much. That is why today, the church that I performed that someone said this and that, today we are hosting this thing in a church.
Wow.
You see?
Wow.
So if I had stopped or someone had stopped, then we wouldn't have had today. But today we are hosting the whole urban listening session in a church because we didn't stop. And that is how I change it. Yeah.
Okay, so now to the EP. Why an EP at this time? Why have you waited to the middle ending of the year to now release an EP? Because we all know Edy.C always banger. Then it took a long while for you to.
The EP, initially with my team, I speak to my team, and we had plans to not to put out like not more than one song, like an EP or an album for some time until we get to a point, we see some things. But it is we don't walk by our own plans. We walk by what God tells us to do. We depend solely on the Holy Spirit. So 2020 came. A whole lot of things happened. We didn't put materials out, and I have gone through a whole lot of things. I've gone through a bunch of things, experiences, and I had all these songs there, and I felt like, if are we going to release these things one, and be like, God did this to me, then you come back again and say, no, let's give it all to the people. The praising God has no style. It has no formula. Let's just drop it. You want to be put a formula where you say, okay, I'll drop this one this year or this month, then 2 months later I'll drop this one. Be like, no. Let's just give everything out without formula to praise God. Great. And to acknowledge the grace of God on Edy.C radio. Wow. Yeah.
So how is your creative process like? How does your music come to you? Are you always with a pen and paper that at any point ready to write down? Like, how do you do it?
I believe that every creative artist or every creative have their own creative process. Okay. And that is their secret.
Do you mind sharing a little?
That's their secret.
A little today.
But what I say, if you listen to all my songs, okay, from Good Morning, Our God is Great. If I don't get any inspiration, I don't write song. I can start a song today. I can feel like I can get an inspiration today. I'm not in a rush to finish the song. I need to have that inspiration to the end. You get it? Songs on this EP are not songs I wrote today. They are not songs I wrote last year. The most recent song on the EP was written 2 years ago.
Really? 2 years?
2 years ago. The oldest one is 2015. You get it? So, wow. So I have to get an experience, put my life in there. I don't just go about preaching the wins. I put in my struggles. I tell you how my struggles are. I tell you how God took me through the struggles and how I won. I put myself into the song. It's an experience with God. You get it? So if I don't get that, I don't have to start writing. I don't be like, okay, this thing is trending, so we have to do something like that. So, hey, play me a beat. No, don't do that.
I see. Interesting. So, to the most asked question of all, who is Mrs. Ankrah? Because when you look at the cover art, it's like Mrs. Ankrah is written boldly there. So, who is Mrs. Ankrah?
Mrs. Ankrah. I believe this is a moment that we all will.
Yeah, because
what is she?
People were saying you're getting married and all that. I mean,
we're going to. So we are here to.
Mrs. Ankrah is around.
Oh, she's around. She's around. Mrs. Ankrah is around for real.
Interesting.
She's around. Only that she's not in a wedding gown today. So, well, Mrs. Ankrah is the grace of God. Mrs. Ankrah is the grace of God personified to me. God calls everyone by his name. And per your relationship with God or your experience with God, you call him too by a name. That is why we have Jehovah Jireh. We have Jehovah Shalom. Someone
preach.
God became peace to somebody, and the person said, "Oh, Jehovah Shalom." God provided for another person. And he said, "Oh, I'll call you Jehovah Jireh." You get it? So, the grace of God, being the comforter, being the companion, being the wifey, being everything a wife could do. I call her Mrs. Grace Ankrah. She's my wife.
Wow.
And so I decided to, you know,
So Mrs. Ankrah is not any.
Mrs. Ankrah is the grace of God. That is what I call. I call the grace of God Mrs. Ankrah. So I'm sorry to burst the bubble. Mrs. Ankrah is no tangible wife, but it is the grace of God personified. It's the grace of God personified. That's it.
So how many songs in this EP? How many? And any features in this?
I have five songs.
Okay.
5 songs on the EP. And there were more. We wanted to add more, but we have an album ahead. So we thought to give the EP, and then we look at maybe the children that Mr. and Mrs. Ankrah are going to have. Put it out.
Okay, so my last question before we take questions from the audience. Who are the producers on this EP, and why did you choose this particular producers?
We had 3 producers.
Okay.
For the 5 songs. One of them is a very good friend of mine, Joe Divans. He's I've known him way back. Yeah, he's the one who has produced almost all my songs, from Good Morning to He Reigns to I Got Jesus to Fill Me Up to most of the songs he produced them. So he's the first person that I thought of.
Shout outs to you, Judy Evans.
Joe Divans, yeah. Then I thought of working with other producers too. So I contacted this awesome, fantastic urban gospel artist. He's also a producer, Belak 360. Big shout out to Belak 360.
Yes,
God bless you. I listened to his vibe and I hit him up. I said, hey, Charlie, let's do something. And it came out great. It's one of the song we produced, one of the favorite songs on the EP for me.
Really?
Yeah, and this Nigerian producer too is one dope Afro-pop, Afro-beat producer. I linked up with him and we did magic on another tune. So yeah, we have
what's his name?
His name is Deuce Ace. Deuce Ace. Big shout out Deuce Ace. Mr. Michael.
So at this point, we'll take some questions from the audience. Questions. Uncle Tio, please, you have the microphone, so maybe you ask the first question for us. Please clap for him, clap for him, clap for him, clap for him. Oh, take mine.
Hello, everybody. All right, so my name is Weston, and Ankrah is a very good buddy of mine. But I want to ask him one question.
Ask.
All right, so we all know Ankrah is on the path of greatness, right? So definitely one day he will get married.
Definitely.
So if right now you're telling us your private listening is Mrs. Ankrah, then what would your wife be when you marry her? Thank you very much.
Of course. There are certain things this Mrs. Ankrah can do. This present Mrs. Ankrah can do, and it's obvious what she can do. I mean, she cannot do. You know what I mean?
She can do everything.
Yeah. So where this Mrs. Ankrah can fail, the new Mrs. Ankrah will do that job. So they will be like,
But is there someone in the corner that
you are still praying to God? Yeah. God is going to work.
Any more questions?
Yeah, it's going
before we
to
go
work.
into the EP. Okay, the microphone is coming over.
Eddie, it's been a while.
Yeah, bro.
No, okay, my name is Caleb, and I've been following Eddie for quite some time now. No, the first time I had a conversation with Eddie, he was very passionate about
rap music, right? That was about 3 years ago, right? But then we discussed secular and then gospel urban music, right? But now he's doing urban music, gospel urban music. I'd like to know, since I've been following you, the next 5, 10 years, where will I see Eddie?
Wow.
This one has the next 5-10 years. I do take it each day at a time. Yes, I have huge plans, but if we make our own plans, but everything is in God's hands. Some time back, I didn't know I'll be doing gospel this early. You know, when I started music, I was doing secular. When I started, about 15 years or 12 years ago, this urban gospel had no audience, virtually no audience. I knew nobody who was doing it.
Yeah.
So the plan was, okay, let's do secular. We hit. Then we come and raise our hands, say, we are Ankrah. That kind of thing. You hit
That's
to
how
get the
everybody
money.
goes, yeah.
So that was the mindset. It was actually a plan that we were going to do that because there was no market for urban gospel. There was no market for my... When I started, friends were laughing at me. Rapping, they were laughing. You write rap, they laugh at you. You get it?
Yeah.
So the plan was, okay, let's do secular, get money, because then secular was taking you to the clubs and doing that. People at least in your crowd, so let's do secular, and when we hit and we get money, you know, do all the collabos and all that, then we put in our apostolic. So maybe then give your life to Christ, then you start doing gospel. Then the money you made years ago, you start chopping out. You get it? But this came earlier. It came earlier than I thought. I didn't know I was going to do. I was just going to digress into gospel this early. So, yes, I have plans. There are plans for Edy.C Radio. The plans are not to get off music. The plans are not to, let's say, I wish to find myself at a place where urban gospel will be the age of in Ghana right now. It will take over Africa, where rappers will be on stage. We will be on stage rapping, and we'll see people falling under the grace, under the power of God.
I think it's a good place to clap for your hands.
That is what I want to see. But you see, it is up to God. We are going to take it a day at a time. And that is it. I hope I answered the question.
Yes, you did.
Okay.
My last question.
Okay.
I'm not trying to be Oliver Twist. Forgive me.
Flow.
Okay. So, Eddie,
Yes, sir.
this is quite critical. You know, what is the difference, right, between secular hip hop and urban gospel hip hop? You know, assuming you have fans, right? You're doing hip hop right now. What will motivate somebody listening to secular hip hop to change or probably stop completely to listen to your gospel music? What will drive someone? What's the difference? Could you please outline it? Because it looks like it's similar or it's the same, but then what would your music do to differentiate secular and gospel urban hip hop in general?
My brother, see me after a Bible flute for you. I like the question.
This one is like a punch in the corner.
Tell you.
You see, with what will draw somebody to the music, that one, it will vary with every individual. Somebody will follow the beat. Somebody to be like, oh, this is the artist. I like the brand. What attracts you to the music depends on the individual. What I can say is the difference between the secular and the gospel music. For the basis of technically, hip hop is hip hop. The gospel is the message of Christ. You get it. Now, the difference between my music and someone else. Now, when you look at why don't you ask yourself that? Why is it that when a secular artist plays or records a supposed gospel music, it is still not considered a gospel music? There's a controversy about it. When a secular artist releases a supposed gospel music, it is hard for the Christian fraternity to accept it as gospel music. It is not only about the words that you drop there.
Okay.
When the devil is coming to you to tempt you, the same word that edifies us, he comes to tempt us with the same word. So anybody at all can pick the words of God, John 3:16, John 3:17, blah blah, and put it into a song, into a rhythm, and say it's gospel music. But the main thing is, where did you get inspiration from? Because the written word without the Spirit of God on it, behind it, is just Bible, a booklet. So the same way, if you are going to put the written word onto a rhythm, onto a beat, there has to be the Spirit of God in there before you push it there. So the difference between Edy.C radio and any other secular artist saying the same thing, the two of us who preach the same John 3:16 on a hip hop beat. Mine, I know that I listen to the voice of God. I depend on the Holy Spirit, get an inspiration before I release it. The other may be that he wants to get more fans from the church. You get it? Before that's why he wants more numbers. That's why you are doing it. It is the Spirit of God that makes the difference. The Spirit of God makes the difference. That is it.
The Spirit of God. Please, we have another question. Your name and where you're calling from.
My name is Nadia Beatrice, and
Since we didn't get the name.
Nadia
Nadia.
Beatrice. My question is a really simple one, and it's to Mr. Ankrah. Eddie,
Hi.
my question is, since you are into urban gospel, is there any urban gospel artist you look up to, or you've been looking up to all this while? And supposing you have an opportunity to feature an urban gospel artist, or anybody for that matter, who is that one person that you are going to choose, or who is that one person that you've been looking forward to featuring?
I love it.
One time. Well, truth of the matter is that the last time I said this, someone said I'm, Ghanaian. Someone said you are too low. Truth of the matter is, I don't look up to anybody. Because the last time I checked, when I was doing secular, I was looking up to an artist. And I realized that I was drifting from myself to being a duplicate of that artist.
Okay.
You try to follow toe to toe, and you miss the point. That is where, even when an artist goes wrong, something that is rationally wrong, you try to defend it because that is your mentor. That is what the person is doing. Then I realized, okay, I have myself to be. And for guidance and not to drift from myself, I need the Holy Spirit, the Spirit of God.
Hallelujah.
That is it. I need it. So I will see another artist doing something. If I'm looking up to the artist, then I'm going to try to do, okay, you want that artist to validate. When I started doing music, urban gospel music, people told me that I should take my songs to some pastors that I look up to, who have mentored us, for them to, see the lyrics before I release it out. Now, when you take the lyrics to them, some of the creative elements that you put inside, the punchlines and things, they feel like, no, this one is too strong, take it out. And you see, then put John 3:16. You get that thing.
I see you like the John 3:16.
That's it. So I try to be myself with the guidance of the Spirit of God. But I won't say that I don't admire and I don't admire people. I mean, other artists. Yeah, there are a lot of artists in GH. We have preachers. We have one of these groups, Royal Priesthood. I respect that group very much. Judah and Fifi Abebio. I respect that group. Royal Priesthood. I respect. Big shout out to Judah. Judah, you were supposed to be here.
He's looking at you.
I respect them very much. Preachers, I respect the OT. He used to be the manager for preachers. I respect them. And all the players. You can't do the job alone. You can't play my songs on radio alone. You can't play this. Yeah, you need other people, because if I'm conquering my neighborhood, if let's say I'm taking care of the southern part of Ghana, you understand? Someone
Somebody
needs to
else,
take care of the
yeah,
other side.
yeah.
Then we all come together and conquer. So I respect everybody. And today, if you ask me to be on a song with somebody, it's Kanye West. Woo! Kanye West one time.
I see. Interesting.
Don't die.
Okay, so 2 more questions, then we go into the EP. 2 more questions.
Okay.
Okay.
My name is Nijon, NJ, for sure, yeah. So, Macho Man.
Macho Man.
What's up?
Charlie, what happened to the bodybuilding? Hold on, what happened to the bodybuilding?
Oh, we are still managing small.
Summer goes. NJ, carry on.
Okay, so we've come a long way,
Okay.
like as urban gospel artists, and we are trying to take up the whole urban gospel to a new level, like trying to get everybody to buy into the idea, because I believe in 5 or 10 years to come, urban gospel is going to be the ish. So I want to ask Edy.C, what do you think we can do to like keep the fire burning and getting people to really have like buy into the urban gospel idea and with your music actually? So
Yeah, like I said earlier, consistency. And answering my brother's question the other time, I said that one thing that what attracts someone to your music differs with the individual. But there are standard things we have to do. One thing is quality of music, quality of production, whether the audio or the video. We are at war with the world. So if the world is coming with us well prepared with all their ammunitions and all that, you can't go there with yes, David killed Goliath with a stone. We can do that, but not when God has given you things to use. You get it? God has given us all the ammunitions for us to use. And you feel like, okay, because sometimes complacency, because you have your church, large crowd, then you just produce just anything, but it's not quality. For us to move forward, we have to do, first of all, we have to do this quality production. What's the name? Audio and the video. And 2, there has to be, we have to present a unified front. There has to be the unity between the artists themselves. The complacency is setting in, and the moment we get popular, an artist get popular in his church, then it's okay, you understand? Then there's sometimes the attitudes try to set in, that kind of thing.
Yes, all right.
We have to set out, leave the complacency out and think outside the church, because urban gospel, we are trying to win the people from outside to the church. So if you are known in your church and you feel like, sometimes you go to other places and you feel like, oh, urban gospel is everywhere, and you want to talk, you want to have a dialogue with somebody, and you mention names, you do this, nobody knows you. But these are the people that you want to reach out to. You understand? So let's think outside our church. Personally, my music is not looking at the church, though I produce songs that will also edify the church and make them bang to it and all that. But I put elements in that which belong to other people for you to. And I Got Jesus video is a typical example of what I mean. So quality production, do away with complacency, and unity will also find us there.
Okay, so one last question, then we start listening to the songs. Yes.
Okay.
Your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Vikangs. And my question is, for some time, I think throughout his music, there has been some backlashes, critics and all. The way he dresses, the way he comes out with his music, how does he take those things? Like, I mean, do I need to start again?
Yes, please.
Okay, so my question is, you have been receiving some backlashes, critics,
Okay.
how you do your music, how you do your music videos, your dressing and all that. How do you take it? Is it encouraging? Does it at times make you lay back and feel discouraged about the whole music thing and deciding on going back to secular or what not? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Urban gospel road is a very slippery road. Some people say that urban gospel artists are disappointed, friend is saying, secular rappers.
They couldn't make it
They
there.
couldn't make it there, so the easiest way is to win. It's a very slippery road. If you don't take care, you think you are doing it for church now. Then that's why we need God every time. We are called to win souls to Christ, and in soul winning, we have two people. We have, let me put it this way: we are supposed to go fish for men.
Preach.
Take it as if the fishermen, they are the people who go into the sea to bring the fish, and they are the people, the mongers, the fishmongers, who preserve the fish before it gets to the consumer.
Word.
Now, these two people, their strategies for the fishing are different. The methods the fishermen who go to the sea use are totally different from what the fishmongers use to preserve the fish. But they are all working for fish. So the same way, so when the fishmonger, if you see the fishmonger and the fisherman, and they are differently dressed, and you try to judge the fisherman by not saying that he is not dressed the way the fishmonger is dressed, then you are getting things wrong. Now, let me bring it to the church. We are supposed to win souls. There are those who go out to bring the souls, and there are those who try to. When the soul comes, when the person comes to the church, that's not the end of it. You need people to make sure that they stay one in the church. That's why we have the choristers, we have the ushers, we have the counselors, we have the worship leaders, the praise leaders. All those people are the people in the church who, when a new soul comes, you try to let them. And those people's dressing and their methods of keeping the souls in the church are different from what the missionaries and the evangelists do outside there.
Yeah.
So yes, I get people talk a lot about Edy.C radio. What you doing? This is me. If I was doing secular, I would still be probably doing worse. What you think? It's The question is, I ask myself, am I sinning? When I get people talk about all those things, the question is, am I sinning? If the Spirit of God or I hear the voice, no. Then what people say
Doesn't matter.
Yes. When I started, the thing is, when I started the music itself, people were talking. I didn't stop, and now they have accepted it. Now I started changing my looks. They are talking, and gradually they are accepting it.
Yeah.
You understand?
It's better they accept it now.
Yes. So the first music that they didn't accept and they are now accepting is even the motivation that these people don't accept it. They are accepting. So it doesn't. Yes, sometimes it weighs you down. There has been a lot of times that thought of quitting gospel and doing secular. It comes almost every time. It's always there. And I always pray for the grace to overcome that voice and all that. It's always there.
This Ankrah is always there.
Exactly. So you go out, you have a wife. Those who have wives and girlfriends, we are single, no?
Yeah, we the single ones.
When you go outside, sometimes you feel like cheating. You feel like cheating. You hear the voice. But there's some strength. Maybe something that your wife did to you. Now, no, I can't leave my wife. Then you go back. That is it.
Last question here, and then.
All right. So, Mr. Ankrah, coming here, I told a friend I'm coming for Edy.C's radio private listening, and then he asked me, why is someone launching a new radio station? And then I told him, oh no, um, I can't answer him now, but then when I get home, I promise to answer him. So I want to know why the name Edy.C Radio, so I don't confuse people with radio stations. Thank you very much.
Well, Edy.C. My name is Edmond Clarence.
No, I didn't even know that.
Say again?
I didn't know the Edmond.
Yeah, the Edmond Clarence. So that's the basis for the Edy.C. Okay. Then the radio, when you are listening to radio, you are listening to the radio. What you say does not affect the radio. What you say does not, you can't tell the presenter there to say this. Or when you insult the person, it doesn't affect him. He's just flowing. He doesn't even hear. What the radio does is that whatever message or whatever source they got their message from, they are just giving it to you. That's it. What you say, it doesn't go anywhere.
Interesting.
So you see, when I rely on my source from God, and I come to say it to you, and you say, "Oh, this guy, what is he doing? It doesn't affect me." So basically, that's what the traditional radio does. That is why I put it to that Edy.C Radio. I'm just here to preach. Radio.
Okay. Round of applause for our people. So at this point, we'd like to go into the EP, take it song by song, we break it down, and then So it looks like we have some questions on Facebook. Okay, Raymond. Shoot.
Hello. Yeah, Edy.C.
Yeah.
My question is, you already have a support system and you have an ideal reach. Okay.
So go. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a question. So my question is, you already have a support system and then a reach now. Okay. So I'm asking, like, the next 5 years, where do you see yourself in relation to an ideal support system? Like, where do you see yourself? And then also an ideal reach, like the next 5 years. Where do you see yourself?
Like I said earlier, I'm taking it one day at a time. And 5 years to see, I've given myself to God. You see, and my plans are no more in play. My plans are no more in place. So I don't want to spell something out here and say that, oh, Edy.C, this is what I want to do, and then later on things will change. Because 2 years ago, I remember talking to one radio, 2 or 3 years ago, I was talking to J Smoke. We were talking, and I said I was going to release an album. That was 2017 or there. That was my plan. Today, if there was a third person to our conversation, the person would have said that, okay, this guy is not a man of his word. You get it? So I have plans. But for them to play out, I put them before God, and things play out by themselves. What God says is how we go about it. This EP wasn't my plan to do EP. It wasn't my plan to put out, like I said, I want to get to a point before we release an album or release any song like that. But the praises and listening to God and what do you say? The conviction that I have for my inside, I will put it out there. So next 5 years, things are going to be way better than this. Things are going to be massive. That assurance I have, that I know. Things are going to be way massive. The support system here now is not so encouraging. That is one of the challenges that we have. You understand? We need more people to understand this whole movement. We need more people to support. Just like the way people invest into secular music and all that. We need people to come inside and do it, because we do invest actually. We are going, the videos that you are seeing on air with secular artists, gospel artists are also shooting the same video.
Yeah.
And when you go to a producer or a director for a music video, they don't say that because you are doing it for Christ, they are reducing your price. No. It's still the same fee. You understand? And even sometimes more, because you have to shoot with the choir. And so it's even more. So the support system is late. Now, going forward, I see that a lot of people, our pastors, our churches, getting to understand us, getting to understand that we can lead the convention, we can lead the mission to go win souls and all that, and we invest into talents like urban gospel artists. So we go and win souls. Yeah.
Great. So at this point, we would like to go into the EP and then listen to some of the songs. Edy.C, you have any questions online? Okay. Nice. Okay, so Drew Doe from Facebook says, what will you say has the journey been like?
Urban gospel journey there. It not be easy. Hey, Drew, bro, Charlie, shout out to Drew. It not be easy. Urban gospel journey, it not be easy. You know, unfortunately, let me be on the brighter side. Now we are in Ghana where showbiz itself is struggling. If whether you are doing secular or you are doing gospel, showbiz itself is struggling in Ghana. We don't have the lack of structures and everything that is supposed to make creative get what they deserve. We are not getting all those things. Now, on top of that, to be a gospel artist in Ghana is one hurdle you have to go across. And now you are going to be inside the urban gospel. The challenges are a lot, like what I said earlier. The acceptance even in the church. Acceptance in the church, our own church. Today, glory be to God, and I give shout outs, respects, and any pastor that has allowed an urban gospel artist on the church platform, his or a church platform. God bless you so much. God bless Bishop David Entry, the presiding bishop of AIWC. His one huge support system. God bless you, Bishop. Dr. David Entry. And any other pastor who has allowed an urban gospel artist on their platform. God bless you so much.
Wow.
The challenges are many, but with your support from the church and from our own self artists, we will do it. Yeah, so Drew, that is it.
I see. We have more questions. Okay, thank you. Has your church supported you enough? Gideon Lee Lamteson says, has your church supported you enough? And do you think they can do better?
My church has supported me. My church. From the beginning, it was, like I said, someone would be like, what you're doing is diabolic. You know, it's just like starting in a business. To even get clients, is, they don't understand your vision and all that. But when the church got to understand what the whole movement was about, the church has been nothing but supportive, very supportive. The church is very supportive. That is why today we are hosting this here. The church is very supportive. That is why I keep doing, one of the reasons I keep doing what I'm doing. Because all the fan base, my fans and people who love my music, they started from the church. And they were the ones who pushed it outside. But there is more room, a lot of rooms. A lot of rooms, apartments, you can't say apartments, mansions for improvements. Watch us here. So we need financing into the funding into urban gospel. We need the platforms. I'm not speaking for myself alone. I'm speaking for the whole movement. we need more help. There can never be a point where we say that, okay, the help is enough. We don't need any help again. We need the help. So yes, the church, let's groom our artists. Let's groom our artists for them and push them ahead with funds, with opportunities, with prayers, and in whatever way the artists request that we can support them. Let's do it.
All right.
In Jesus' name.
So before we sign off, one last question, Edy.C. What advice do you have to the young, upcoming urban gospel artists that want to also enter the system? What advice do you have for them?
This goes to myself because I'm also young. So I'm also young. So the thing is consistency and never to give up. Track 2 on the EP talks about not giving up. You see? And before you get the big breakthrough, in between where you are and the big breakthrough, there are small breakthroughs. There are small wins. So if you give up, and those wins, small breakthroughs or wins, they link each other before you get to the big breakthrough. There's a proverb that a man who moves a mountain starts by carrying the small stones around it. So if you don't start with the small stones, you're not going to move the mountain. That is the consistency. Never stop and depend on God. That's it.
Right. So that's his finishing point. Never stop and depend on God. So at this point, we can't take any more questions.
Chairman Restus is in the house.
Yeah, we are out of time. So my name is Ernest, and Thelma, you have a question. Wow. An exception. So
All right, I'm Restus. Thank you for the opportunity.
Restus.
Yeah. I remember somewhere last year after we organized the Urban Gospel virtual concert, I posted a video of Edy.C's performance and someone was like, "These your guys, are you sure they are not on drugs?" If you've ever witnessed any of his ministrations, Charlie, the energy. I want to ask a question. Like, where do you get all those energies from? Do you take something?
Well, I don't take anything. Like, those close to me know. I don't take anything. I have nothing to say that, okay, I take this inside, I do this. I just do my normal workouts, you know. One thing I do is when I go to the gym, instead of just training normally, as I'm training, I'm singing. That's my the routine I go through. When you are training, you train normally and you are punching. But through my punching, I'm singing. So I'm always rehearsing and working out and singing through my workout. So when I come on stage, but the rest is the grace of God. I don't do anything. I don't take in anything at all. At all. There have been some scandals that I smoke. I don't do.
But you used to.
No, I've never smoked.
Oh, okay.
Apart from smoking on set, I mean, acting. Acting, yeah, I have. But to say that I smoke when I come, no, I don't do that.
All right. So sorry for last one. When I was coming ahead, Vikan's talking about your style of music and the criticism, how you take them, and all those stuff. Can you stop intimidating some of us with your stomach? All right, thank you.
All right.
That's not a question,
Have
actually.
you promised to stop?
Okay.
Promise to stop, yeah?
We'll take it into prayer.
All right. So at this point, we'd like to sign off. My name is Ernest. But before we go, we have some juices at the back. So in case any of you want, Ahim for Royal Bar, right? Yes. So they are located around Kamara, Mamprubi, and their number is 0244 150 137. That's 0244 150 137. My name is Ernest, and it's been a pleasure having you guys. So we are going into the listening, and because we haven't released the song yet, we can't play it online. So at this point, we just go offline. Edy.C, any shout outs?
Yeah, I'm so grateful for the Papa of this house. Woo! Grateful to the Papa of this house, Bishop Dr. David Chum Entry. Wow. I mean, the support, the council throughout, and at certain places, somebody will sideline you, you know. But I know that sometimes something that you are not comfortable, or you are not, you don't understand the vision, you become uncomfortable with it. But he has been uncomfortable with me for some time until he became used to me. And God bless him so much for accepting radio. God bless him. So, and anyone who has one way or the other supported Edy.C Radio, my team, either Joshua Tay, Dickness, Mama Sarah, anyone, home and abroad, if you have ever helped Edy.C Radio, God bless you so much. But our doors are still open. If you want to help, especially this EP, shooting of video, investing into it, we have plans for it and all that. Going on tour, across churches and other places. So, if you have any help too, you're watching us, you can send a DM, and God will bless you. We'll work with you. We'll send the gospel across, and it will be a history in the making. God bless you so much.
So a big thank you to everyone who was able to make it. A big thank you to our media producers. On that note, we say bye-bye.
You were Gyro to Abraham. You was Missy to Israel. He is everything to me. Radio.
Yeah, so let's go. But one thing I know is that when you're performing, you give your heart to the people. and they will give you their heart. That's one thing I believe in.
And I've been following Eddie for quite some time now.
The most recent on the EP was 2 years ago. Yeah, 2 years ago. The oldest one is 2015.
Take up the whole urban gospel to a new level.
Thank you so much for your support. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. Yeah.